Life doesn't change when you wait for someone to hand you respect. It changes the day you decide you'll never beg for it again. People don't treat you differently because of what you say. They treat you differently because of the energy you carry, the standard you demand, and the way you present yourself to the world. The truth is, most of you are walking through life invisible, tolerated instead of admired, ignored instead of respected. That one shift, the moment you decide to raise your standards and show the world that you value yourself, is the day everything changes. The world mirrors back to you how you carry yourself. If you walk with your head down, if you accept being overlooked, people will gladly keep you small. But the second you choose to act as if your time is valuable, your presence is important, and your life has purpose, people will respond with a different tone, a different respect, a different energy. And the beauty of it, once you taste it, once you see how people shift around you, when you shift within yourself, you'll never go back to being invisible. Do this once, and you'll never again settle for less than the respect you deserve. Carry yourself with unshakable confidence even before you feel it, because the world doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards certainty. Confidence is not about always knowing the outcome, it's about walking into any situation as if you belong there. Most people wait for proof before they act confident. They wait for success, validation, or recognition. But that's the wrong order. The truth is, confidence comes first and results follow. If you carry yourself as if you already have the respect, the opportunities, the success, people will subconsciously treat you as if you deserve them. Human beings are wired to respond to certainty. Think about it. When someone speaks with doubt, when they move timidly, when they shrink themselves to avoid attention, others immediately sense it and treat them accordingly. But when someone speaks with conviction, when their body language says, "You know where I'm going," people listen, they lean in, and they respect it, even if that person hasn't yet reached the top. You don't need to wait until you feel ready to be confident. In fact, if you wait, you'll wait forever. Confidence is built by doing, by acting, by stepping forward, even when your hands shake. Unshakable confidence is about controlling the frame of how you present yourself. When you walk into a room, your posture, your eye contact, your tone of voice, they all speak louder than words. If you slouch, if you avoid eye contact, if your voice trembles, people immediately read weakness. But if you stand tall, shoulders back, chin up with deliberate movements, you project strength. You may not feel powerful inside, but the body teaches the mind. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Soon, the external confidence you projected begins to create real internal confidence because your brain believes. The story your body is telling. Confidence is also about certainty in your decisions. Most people kill their power by second-guessing themselves. They say, not sure, maybe this, maybe that, and in doing so, they broadcast weakness. A confident person makes a choice and owns it, even if it's wrong. Why? Because leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being decisive. People follow decisiveness, not doubt. If you're willing to stand behind your words and actions, people trust you, respect you, and treat you differently. And once you stop needing everyone's approval, once you stop explaining and apologizing for everything you do, you unlock a version of yourself that commands attention naturally. But let's be clear, unshakable. Confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance is fragile. It's loud, insecure, constantly needing validation. True confidence is quiet, calm, and unmovable. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove. It simply is. Confidence means knowing that even you lose today, you'll rise tomorrow. It means understanding that failure doesn't define you. It refines you. And when people see that nothing shakes you, that you don't crumble under pressure, that you don't flinch when challenged, they begin to treat you with a different level of respect. Confidence also requires discipline. You can't fake it forever. The fastest way to build unshakable confidence is to keep promises you make to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and follow through, you stack evidence in your mind that you can trust yourself. Every skipped promise weakens you, but every kept promise strengthens you. When you get up early because you said you would, when you hit the gym because you committed, when you finish the work you promised yourself, your self-respect grows. And self-respect is the foundation of true confidence. People can sense it. They can feel when someone has built themselves up from discipline. That energy cannot be faked long term. Anotha. Our piece of carrying yourself with confidence is mastering your emotions. Weak people explode when triggered. They whine, complain, and broadcast insecurity through emotional chaos. A confident person stays composed because they understand that losing control means losing respect. People admire those who remain calm in the storm, who can face insults, setbacks, and difficulties with poise. It doesn't mean you suppress emotions. It means you control them instead of letting them control you. That emotional control makes others view you as strong, reliable, and unshakable. Understand this: the world is constantly testing you. Every person you meet is unconsciously scanning you, asking, do I need to respect this person? Do I need to follow their lead? Or can I walk over them? Your body language, your voice, your discipline, your decisiveness, all of it answers that question before you say a word. If you present yourself as weak, the world will gladly treat you as weak. But if you carry ourself with unshakable confidence, even before you feel it, people adjust their behavior around you. They treat you as someone of value, someone of importance, someone to respect. So stop waiting for permission to be confident. Stop waiting until you feel worthy. Confidence is not given, it's chosen. It's a decision you make every morning to stand tall, to speak clearly, to walk into every situation with the belief that you belong. And here's the beauty of it. Once you decide to carry yourself this way, even when you don't feel it inside, the world begins to treat you differently. And when you see that shift, when you realize the power of how people now respond to you, the confidence becomes real. Unshakable confidence is not built by waiting. It's built by acting as if you already have it. And when you master this, your life will never be the same. Speak with conviction. Hesitation kills respect. The way you speak tells the world exactly how much you believe in yourself, your ideas, and your value. You can say the most brilliant words in the world, but if you whisper them with uncertainty, if your tone trembles, if your delivery is weak, people will dismiss them and dismiss you along with them. On the other hand, you can say something simple, even ordinary, but if you say it with strength, with absolute certainty, people will lean in, they will believe you, and they will respect you. Conviction isn't about having all the answers. It's about owning the words that come out of your mouth. When you hesitate, when you stumble, when you constantly question yourself while speaking, you're telling the world you don't trust your own voice. And if you don't trust yourself, why should anyone else? Think about the leaders, the people who inspire movements, the ones who change lives. They aren't always the smartest people in the room. They aren't always the most educated, but what they all have in common is conviction. They speak in a way that makes you feel the fire in their words. They don't ask for permission to be heard. They command attention. They don't shrink their voice to make others comfortable. They expand it to make their presence known. Our respect begins to vanish. To speak with conviction, you must first believe in what you're saying. That doesn't mean you have to be right about everything. It means you commit to your truth in that moment. If you've made a decision, own it. If you have an opinion, stand by it. If you have a vision, declare it boldly. Even if later you learn new information and change your stance, people will still respect you for speaking with clarity and force, because it shows strength. People respect those who can stand behind their words, even if imperfect, far more than those who hide in hesitation trying to please everyone. Tone and delivery matter as much as the words themselves. When you speak, speak from your chest, not your throat. Let your voice carry weight. Don't rush your sentences or mumble them. Control your pace, emphasize key words, and let silence work for you. The pause between your words is as powerful as the words themselves. It creates gravity. It shows you are not afraid of not afraid of the attention that comes with it. When you speak too fast, when you hurry through your thoughts, it signals nervousness and insecurity. But when you slow down, when you deliver each line like it matters, you project authority. Authority is born in conviction, not in speed. Another aspect of speaking with conviction is eliminating weak language. Phrases like, kind of, maybe, and I think, and can you, I'm not sure, ma'am, not sure, but are poison to respect. They water down your message. They show you are afraid to stand fully behind your words. Replace them with power statements. Instead of saying, I think this could work, say, this will work. Instead of saying, Maybe we should try this. Say, we're going to try this. Small shifts in language completely transform how people perceive you. It's not about arrogance. It's about certainty. People want to follow someone who sounds sure of where they're going. Confidence in your voice also comes from preparation. If you constantly hesitate, it might be because you don't prepare yourself to speak clearly. Study your craft, know your material, and practice articulating it with power. The more knowledge you have, the more conviction you can bring into your words. But don't mistake preparation for perfection. You don't need every detail figured out before you speak with confidence. What you need is to commit to what you know right now and present it with absolute belief. People respect boldness more than flawless precision. Conviction also requires courage. Speaking with conviction often means saying things others are afraid to say. It means standing by your truth, even when it's unpopular. That is where respect is born. People may not agree with you, but they will respect you for having the courage to voice your thoughts without flinching. Weak voices blend into the noise, but strong voices cut through it. History doesn't remember those who whispered. They remember those who declared. Finally, understand this. Hesitation kill. Respect because it communicates fear. Fear that you'll be wrong. Fear that people will reject you. Fear that your words aren't enough. But here's the reality. People don't respect fear, they respect strength. Even if you're wrong, even if you stumble, as long as you deliver your words with conviction, people will treat you with a level of seriousness they'll never give to the hesitant. The moment you stop apologizing for your voice, the moment you start speaking with certainty, the world will respond. So speak with conviction, even when your knees shake, even when doubt whispers in your ear. Train your voice to carry weight, cut out the weak language, and stand fully behind your words. Hesitation may feel safe, but it guarantees invisibility. Conviction may feel risky, but it guarantees respect. And once you experience how differently people treat you when you speak as if your words are unshakable, you will never again allow hesitation to steal your power. Value your time so others learn to value it too, because time is the one currency that no one can ever repay. Money, possessions, and status can be gained and lost, but every second you spend is gone forever. Yet most people walk through life as if time is endless. They say yes to every request. They waste hours on things that don't matter. They allow themselves to be pulled in 100 different directions. The result is predictable. No one respects their boundaries, their priorities, or their presence. But when you begin to value your time, when you treat it as the precious resource it is, the world starts to treat you differently. People will sense it, and they will adjust how they interact with you. Valuing your time starts with recognizing your own worth. If you accept being late to your own life, if you let interruptions dominate your day, if you sacrifice your priorities to please others, you are unconsciously telling the world that your time doesn't matter, and the world responds in kind. But when you set boundaries, when you protect your hours as fiercely as you protect your goals, people take notice. They begin to realize that your time is not theirs to command, and respect naturally follows. This isn't about arrogance, it's about self-respect. Every commitment you make is a statement about how you value your time. If you promise someone a meeting, a favor, or even a simple conversation, show up prepared and engaged. If you are constantly rescheduling or overextending yourself, people start to devalue your presence. But when you are deliberate with your engagements, when you arrive on time and give your full attention, your energy signals to others that your time, and by extension your life, is serious, meaningful, and non-negotiable. People respond to that energy because it creates a standard they can't ignore. Valuing your time also means eliminating distractions that don't serve your goals. Social media scrolling, meaningless arguments, passive entertainment, these consume RS without adding any real value to your life. When you cut these habits, you gain clarity and focus, and when people see that you are not available for trivialities, that your attention is reserved for what truly matters, they start to treat your time with the same seriousness you treat it. You don't have to demand respect. Your disciplined schedule broadcasts it naturally. Saying no is a crucial part of valuing your time. Most people fear saying no because they want to be liked, they want to avoid conflict, or they want to appear helpful. But every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are implicitly saying no to something that builds you. You are giving away your hours to others while sacrificing your own growth. When you learn to say no decisively, People begin to understand that your time has limits, and limits command respect. A well-placed no is more powerful than any plea for attention. Your daily routine is a reflection of how you value your time. High achievers understand that every day is a series of choices, some urgent, some important. When you focus on the important, when you invest your hours in growth, skill building, relationships that matter, and meaningful experiences, you demonstrate the value of your own time through action. People notice this. They notice the person who doesn't waste hours complaining, who doesn't linger in indecision, who prioritizes progress. And slowly, the world begins to mirror that standard. Valuing your time also means prioritizing your health and energy. If you constantly overcommit, skip rest, or neglect your well-being, your productivity and presence suffer. People sense fatigue, distraction, and lack of focus, and subconsciously they treat your time as less valuable. But when you take care of yourself, sleeping enough, eating well, exercising, and maintaining mental clarity, you signal that your body, mind, and time are assets. Others will recognize that your presence is powerful and scarce, and that scarcity demands respect. The way you structure your interactions also teaches others to value your time. If someone repeatedly interrupts you, monopolizes your attention, or takes you for granted, you set boundaries. You politely but firmly redirect their energy, you allocate time intentionally, and you protect your priorities. People notice this. They understand that your schedule is not a buffet of availability, it is a limited resource. And once they internalize that, they begin to respect your time without you having to explain it. Valuing your time also means having goals and a vision for your life. When you move with purpose, every action, every decision, every conversation is weighed against whether it serves your objectives. People instinctively respect someone with direction and urgency. When they see that you aren't drifting, that you aren't wasting your hours on trivialities, they start to treat your presence and requests with the seriousness they deserve. Time invested with you becomes a privilege, not a convenience. Finally, value your time so others learn to value it too, because this is how you command respect without demanding it. When you honor your hours, when you protect your boundaries, when you invest in what matters and eliminate what doesn't, people recognize the standard you have set. They start to mirror it in their behavior toward you. Your energy, your attention, and your presence become recognized as rare and valuable commodities. And once you internalize this principle, once you act consistently, the way people treat you changes. They no longer take you for granted, they no longer waste your time, and they no longer undermine your worth. Time is your most powerful asset. Guard it, honor it, and let the world adjust to the standard you set. Refuse to tolerate disrespect in any form, because how others treat you is a reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Disrespect is not just a minor annoyance, it's a signal that you are. Allowing people to undermine your value, your presence, and your energy. Most people accept disrespect as a normal part of life. They let it slide in conversations, tolerate dismissive behavior at work, allow friends and family to overstep boundaries, and shrug off insults from strangers. But every time you tolerate it, you teach the world that it is acceptable to treat you poorly. The moment you refuse to tolerate it, the dynamic changes completely. You stop being a passive participant in life, and you start commanding the respect that naturally accompanies high standards. Refusing disrespect begins with awareness. You have to recognize the forms it can take, from subtle undermining comments to blatant aggression. Disrespect can be verbal, emotional, or even physical, and sometimes it's cloaked in humor, friendly criticism, or passive-aggressive behavior. The problem is that many people brush it off, thinking they are overreacting, or they rationalize the behavior to avoid confront. But when you see disrespect clearly, you reclaim control. A refusal to tolerate it doesn't require rage or overreaction. It requires a calm, firm, and unwavering stance. Setting boundaries is key. Boundaries communicate what you will and will not accept, and they define the perimeter of your personal and professional space. When someone crosses a boundary, you respond immediately, calmly, and consistently. If you allow disrespect to go unchecked once, it opens the door for it to happen again. Respect is built on consistency. It is not granted by pleading or apologizing. People respond to standards. They respect what you enforce without hesitation. Refusing disrespect also requires courage. Most people tolerate it because confrontation feels uncomfortable. They fear conflict or fear being disliked. But refusing to tolerate disrespect is not about confrontation for the sake of conflict. It's about self-preservation. It's about ensuring that your energy, your time, and your presence are not cheapened by someone else's poor behavior. Courage allows you to respond decisively instead of passively, and this decisiveness teaches others that you are not a person to be trampled over. Your tone and demeanor matter when enforcing respect. You don't need to yell, argue, or humiliate anyone to make it clear that disrespect is unacceptable. Calm, firm, and assertive communication carries far more weight. When you speak from a place of self-assured authority, your words are harder to challenge. People may initially test you, but consistency will make it clear that disrespect is met with consequence, not tolerance. Over time, this approach rewires the way people interact with you. They begin to think twice before crossing lines because they know you will not stand down. Refusing to tolerate disrespect also applies to yourself. Self-respect is the foundation of how the world treats you. If you belittle yourself, if you apologize excessively, if you diminish your own worth to appease others, you signal that disrespect is acceptable. People pick up on these signals immediately. When you hold yourself in high regard, prioritize your own boundaries, and speak to yourself with dignity, others subconsciously mirror that behavior. Respect from others starts with the respect you give yourself. This principle extends to all areas of life: work, relationships, social circles, and casual interactions. At work, refusing disrespect means speaking up when colleagues undermine you or take credit for your work. In relationships, it means confronting dismissive or controlling behavior rather than silently enduring it. Among friends, it means recognizing when someone repeatedly violates your boundaries and either addressing it or distancing yourself. Every refusal to tolerate disrespect reinforces your value and teaches others how to engage with you. Consequences are essential. Disrespect should never be met with passive acceptance, and it should never be ignored. Consequences. NCEs don't have to be dramatic, but they must be immediate and clear. Sometimes it's as simple as walking away, ending a conversation, or limiting contact with the person in question. Other times it may involve direct verbal confrontation or formal measures in professional settings. The key is that disrespect is never rewarded with tolerance. It is met with a response that protects your dignity. Refusing disrespect also fosters internal strength. When you consistently enforce boundaries and stand against poor treatment, you train yourself to remain firm under pressure. You no longer rely on external validation to feel worthy, because your worth is defined by your own standards. This inner strength radiates outward, changing the way people perceive and interact with you. They sense that you cannot be pushed, manipulated, or belittled, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. Finally, refusing to tolerate disrespect transforms your life in ways that are hard to overstate. You cultivate an environment where your presence, your voice, and your time are treated with seriousness. You attract people who match your standards and distance yourself from those who do not. You no longer expend energy on those who seek to diminish you, and you channel your focus toward growth, achievement, and meaningful relationships. In short, by refusing to tolerate disrespect in any form, you assert your worth, command attention, and teach the world a simple truth: you will not be undervalued. And once the world understands that, the way people treat you changes forever. Lead your life with purpose and watch the world fall in line, because purpose is the invisible force that commands attention, shapes decisions, and attracts respect. When you have a clear vision of who you are, what you want, and where you're going, your actions stop being random or reactive. They become deliberate, intentional, and magnetic. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances, going where RS push them, and making choices based on fear, convenience, or habit. But when you operate with purpose, everything changes. Your time, your energy, your words, and even your presence begin to carry weight, because they are aligned with a higher standard that cannot be ignored. Purpose gives your life direction. Without it, you wander aimlessly, trying to satisfy others or chasing meaningless distractions. With purpose, every choice becomes a decision to move closer to your goal. You no longer waste energy on trivialities, idle gossip, or people who seek to drain your drive. Purpose sharpens your focus and filters out what doesn't belong in your life. The world naturally responds to that clarity. People are drawn to those who know where they are going, because in a world of uncertainty, certainty inspires trust, admiration, and respect. Living with purpose demands courage. It requires that you define your values, set non-negotiable standards, and pursue your vision relentlessly, Eve. When others doubt or criticize you, many people fear this level of commitment because it exposes them to failure, rejection, and scrutiny. But purpose-driven individuals understand that these challenges are tests, not obstacles. They use every setback as a lesson, every criticism as fuel, and every failure as an opportunity to refine their path. The clarity of purpose shields you from distraction, excuses, and hesitation, making it impossible for others to derail you without your consent. Purpose also creates presence. When you walk into a room, people sense that you are not just there. They feel that you belong, that you carry authority, and that your energy is intentional. This presence is magnetic. People respect and follow those who have direction because human beings are wired to align with strength and clarity. When your life is led by purpose, your decisions, your tone, and even your posture reflect the alignment of your inner compass. Others may not know your exact goals. Be you. They sense the certainty and they adjust their behavior around you accordingly. Every action you take with purpose builds credibility. When people see that your words match your deeds, that you follow through on commitments, and that you pursue goals relentlessly, they automatically respect you. Purpose-driven individuals are not swayed by short-term gratification or idle criticism. They operate on long-term vision. This consistency teaches others that your time, attention, and energy are valuable, and it commands respect without confrontation. People begin to prioritize you, listen to you, and gravitate towards you because your purpose gives your life weight that cannot be ignored. Purpose also cultivates resilience. Life is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and people who will try to diminish your efforts. Without purpose, these challenges can crush you, leaving you reactive and uncertain. But with purpose, you have a reason to rise, to push harder, and to keep moving forward. Challenges become milestones, not roadblocks, because every difficulty is an opportunity to reinforce your vision. Resilience is magnetic. People are drawn to those who can endure and overcome because it signals strength, determination, and leadership. When you live with purpose, the world instinctively respects your ability to withstand pressure and emerge stronger. Purpose clarifies priorities. When you know what you want and why you want it, decisions become easier. You stop wasting time on distractions, toxic relationships, or meaningless obligations. You learn to say no to things that do not serve your mission, and yes to opportunities that align with your vision. This clarity in decision-making is evident to everyone around you. People notice when you operate with precision, when you value your time, and when your choices reflect a larger strategy. In turn, they begin to treat you differently, recognizing that your life is not random. It is intentional, structured, and meaningful. Living with purpose also inspires others. Humans are drawn to those who lead by example. When you demonstrate courage, discipline, and vision, people naturally want to follow. Your purpose becomes a beacon, and your energy becomes contagious. Others begin to respect your time, honor your boundaries, and support your goals, not because you demand it, but because your clarity and drive make it impossible to ignore. Leadership is not about titles or accolades, it is about influence, and influence flows naturally from a life led with purpose. Finally, leading your life with purpose creates fulfillment. Respect, attention, and alignment from others are important, but the real power of purpose lies in internal authority. When you live intentionally, you no longer rely on external validation to feel worthy. You measure success by your own standards, and that confidence radiates outward. People sense it. They recognize that you are guided by something larger than trivial concerns or fleeting approval. And when the world sees that, they fall in line naturally, respecting your time, your presence, and your vision. Leading your life with purpose is not a one-time decision. It is a commitment you